Hello everyone, my name is Dorcas and welcome to this channel. Today we're going to discuss on the topic of why some financial goals will fail this January. This came out of a discussion I had with a friend of mine who was asking why she feels discouraged about concerning her goals, her aspirations for 2022, and she feels that because she was not able to start off right, that her goals have failed. So this video is to respond to her and also to help her and every other person who may need some guidance on how to restructure their financial goals for success in 2026. I hope this video will be helpful and insightful. I hope you share this video with others so that they can learn something. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. With that, let's begin. I am sure many of you, myself included, we began the year 2026 by setting financial goals and outlining our financial dreams that we would like to achieve for 2026. We resolved to, for example, save more money, pay off debt, or start investing if we haven't invested the previous year. But sometimes along the way, we lose track of the financial goals that we've set, and that causes a lot of frustration and disappointment. Motivation quickly fades, and by the time we are getting to February March, we've almost given up completely on our financial goals. So, what this video is trying to do is to identify factors, to identify what went wrong, and to identify how we can ensure that going forward we can continue to achieve those goals because we are still in the month of January, so we still have time. So this video will help us to identify what is possible, what we need to improve, what we need to get rid of, so that we can meet our financial goals with confidence and achieve our financial milestones as we intended them to be. Before we understand why financial goals fail, especially in January, let's first understand what financial goals are. Financial goals are specific, measurable objectives that you set to achieve financial stability, security, and success. These goals can range from short-term objectives such as saving for a vacation or paying off a credit card to long-term aspirations like buying a home or retiring comfortably. They therefore provide a unique roadmap to getting ahead financially, especially by giving motivation, guidance, and direction when it comes to allocating financial resources as intended. Despite the best of intentions, many of us struggle to achieve their financial goals. Um, in as much as we spend time creating these financial goals, sometimes we fail to achieve them because our goals are vague, unrealistic, or they are too ambitious. An example would be I want to save 5,000 shillings or I want to save 5 million shillings. It can feel generic and meaningless because there's no clear why. Where did that number come from? Why 5 million? Why not 1 million shillings? Over time, these kind of goals fizzle out because they lack a deeper connection to what truly matters in your life. To ensure that your goals stick, you need to connect them to a strong emotion, whether it's to avoid pain or a pursuit of pleasure. For example, instead of just saying, I want to save 5 million shillings, try reframing it as, I am so sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I want to have 5 million shillings in my savings so that I can finally escape this exhausting cycle of stress and worry. Or you can frame it by saying, I want to save 5 million shillings so that I can take my family on a dream vacation to create memories Or I want to build a home for my family so that we can have a place we cherish forever. There's a difference when you frame it correctly. It brings motivation and it helps you to stick to your goals even when you don't feel like. The truth of the matter is financial goals are not a reflection of personal willpower, but more of system. When you create a financial goal and trust your will, your mindset to actually follow through those goals, you're bound to fail because there's something called decision fatigue and temptation. You may be tempted to ignore your goals or dip into your savings for an impulse purchase, or you could choose to give up on your goals simply because you're too tired, too stressed to follow through. This is important to highlight because without systems, it's impossible to actually stick to the habits that you're trying to follow or the the routine that you're trying to establish in order to achieve those financial goals. When you create systems, you're creating a routine by which you do because human beings are creatures of habit. When you get used to doing the same thing day in, day out, it becomes automatic. It's like you're conditioning your brain to function or to reason or to behave in a specific way. So you need systems so that you can continue to make beneficial financial decisions on autopilot. You can automate, you can also make sacrifices. You can say, okay, I'm going to spend this, I will not go beyond this. Or you set up a budget for your investment. You dollar cost averaging over time, especially on a monthly basis. You can also make extra payments to your debt and also simply saying no to impulse purchase. There's a video I made on creating financial systems. I ask that you check it out so that you see why having a financial system is great for financial success. Another reason why financial goals fail is because your budgets are not detailed enough. A goal without a plan is merely a wish. Many people set savings targets without creating a realistic budget to see where the money is actually going. Without tracking incomes and expenses on a timely basis, it's impossible to identify spending leaks or allocate funds effectively, making the financial goal feel abstract and unmanageable. There are many ways to create a budget. We have the zero-based budgeting system. We have the cost-based budgeting system. We also have the goal-based budgeting system. You choose a budgeting system that works for you, and you use that. It can be either on an app or or you have a budget binder to help you to budget your finances, but at least come up with something that you can continue to use on a regular basis and that can help you to track your incomes and expenses effectively. One of the main reasons why financial goals fail is because people fail to address the underlying habits and they ignore the psychology behind money. For example, when somebody is stressed, they spend a lot. They tend to overspend. When people are stressed, they can choose to avoid spending altogether, or they choose to ignore their spending, their goals, or the reasons for budgeting. They ignore completely, or they simply choose to pretend that budgeting is too hard, achieving financial goals is too hard. Some people struggle with confidence, other people struggle with the fear of success, other people are actually they have subconscious doubt. Um, they feel they don't deserve to be successful, or they don't deserve to, they don't have what it takes to actually achieve their financial goals. All these limiting beliefs is it's just a symptom of the underlying problem. To solve this, you need to examine yourself, be honest with yourself, and address what triggers you, what causes you to behave in a specific manner. Make changes, take the steps you need to solve that problem, because without solving it, it will be very difficult for you to actually achieve your financial. Another reason why financial goals fail is because you do not have a fully funded emergency fund or a plan to buffer you from setback. For example, if you start investing in shares or bonds or real estate and you don't have a fully funded emergency fund, then it's very likely for you to be forced to sell off your shares or your bonds or your real estate uh, portfolio to be able to get the funds you needed to take care of an emergency. This is why many times I always advise my clients to first start with a fully funded emergency fund. An emergency fund will be able to take care of any unexpected expense, usually around 6 to 12 months of monthly expenses. That is a fully funded emergency fund. If your emergency fund is underfunded, then it means you have less less funds to be able to cover you for about 6 months to 12 years. So a properly funded emergency fund should be able to cover 6 months to 12 months of your monthly expenses. These are emergencies because emergencies arise because life is unpredictable. You have a medical issue that requires you to go to the hospital immediately, or simply losing your job. It can cause a lot of financial strain if you do not have a fully funded emergency fund. So, if your financial goals do not have a contingency plan, then it's bound to fail. Always have an emergency fund that takes into account any unexpected expense. For example, maybe your car breaks down, or maybe your phone is stolen or something. You need to have a contingency account within your emergency fund, so that now you are not being forced to take steps backwards to take advantage of unexpected emergencies. It's a possibility that your financial goals are failing because you do not have a system for accountability. When you when you keep your financial goals private, or shrouded in either fame or simply as a personal endeavor, then it's very easy for you to lose motivation, lose encouragement, or become discouraged, or simply forget that the financial goals you set up in order for you to achieve them. So what we always recommend is that always have an accountability partner. It can be a financial buddy, it can be a supportive partner if you have one, or a professional financial advisor. These people will keep you on track. They will remind you of what is important. They will also help you to remain focused on the different financial goals that you need to achieve at that specific point in time, and also advise you on the best way to achieve those financial goals with minimum effort. Especially for financial advisors, it's always recommended to consult somebody who is qualified, who is certified, and also knows what works best for you. For example, when you speak to certified financial planners, to have a track record of success, you're more likely to achieve your financial goals within the time frame that you've established or even before. So also seek counseling, especially for your financial traumas. Seek counseling, seek therapy if possible, and try as much as you can to ask for help. Because no man is an island. You can't do all these things by yourself. Always ask for help, support, and encouragement, and you'll definitely get there. For many people, myself included, we make financial goals, we create financial goals that reflect our perfectionist thinking and our ambition. Sometimes sometimes it's okay to be ambitious, but at what point does ambition really hurt us? When we make goals that are so hyper realistic, like they're so lofty, so high that when we fail to reach them, we become discouraged. So what happens is that perfectionism kills dreams, especially financial dreams, especially career dreams, and any other dreams that we may have for ourselves. Being a perfectionist actually hurts more than it helps us. If somebody, for example, slipped up by making an impulsive purchase or missing a savings transfer, they quickly declare in their mind that they have failed, they are failures, and they give up completely. This binary thinking, or thinking it either all or nothing, it ignores the progress made along the way and prevents the flexibility that is required for long-term success. This is why when we say that your financial goals need to be SMART, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. When we say that our goals need to be measurable and achievable, we say that the goals need to be quantified in a way that when we achieve them, we can say that we are making progress. We also they need to be relevant to our current situation, so that now it gives us the encouragement, the positivity we need to continue to stick to our financial goals. Another thing is to actually review your finances over time, so that to make sure that when you achieve a small milestone within a big milestone, you're encouraged to celebrate your small wins over time, and also keep the momentum of achieving even bigger goals that you're yet to achieve. Let us recap what we've discussed. At the beginning of the new year, there's always that desire to start afresh, to research, and also draw inspiration from the mistakes of the previous year, so that we make even better decisions, even better financial decisions for the new year. However, by the time February arrives, that result often fades, and by March, April, the financial plans are completely abandoned. This cycle of hope, followed by disappointment, is common with many of us, and is often not a result of weak willpower, but a result of common systematic pitfalls that undermine these intentioned aspirations. These are the reasons we've identified as to why New Year's financial goals fail, and one of them is vague and unrealistic goal setting. The other one is reliance on willpower, no system. The third one is lack of a detailed budget or a tracking system, failure to address underlying habits and psychology of money, and not having an emergency buffer or a plan for setbacks, also lack of accountability and support, and lastly, having a perfectionist, quote unquote, all or nothing mindset. The solution will be now move beyond the vague ambitions and address all the structural, psychological, and behavioral components of personal finance, and transform the annual cycle of hope and disappointment into a financial journey of continuous improvement. The path to financial wellness therefore lies not in grand annual declarations, but in building small, consistent habits, creating automated systems, and cultivating a resilient, forgiving mindset that can adapt to life complexity. True financial success, therefore, is built not in January, but across the quiet, determined efforts of all the months that follow it. Now we have come to the end of this video. I am sure you learned something today. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing to this channel, thank you for sharing this video with other people, thank you for leaving your comments in the comment section. Please share in the comment section what you would like us to discuss next. And thank you so much. Until next time, goodbye.